That's bullshit, man. That's bullshit. That's why most boxers are broke. How in the hell does a manager get 33 in the third when he does nothing? That doesn't make sense. You have all these sanctioning fees on these belts that are not gold. They're brass. You know, you give them credit, they're stylish, and a lot of people held the belt, but it's brass. It's not real. You know, Hall of Fame. People come to see you, the fighter. Where does that money go for all those tickets and the hotels and all that? Where does that money go? Curious. No, there's just some. How come boxing doesn't have a union? Because it will stop. I wish that I can get with President Trump right now, because I put a halt to boxing.
Those were the words of former two-time champion Michael Moorer. And he kind of breaks down the game of boxing. And this comes from a snippet of the interview that he had with IFL TV. And with him talking about what's going down in the sport of boxing and how dirty the game can be, it kind of sheds some light to the sport, to those that, you know, don't necessarily know the back ends of the game. And he talks about, you know, how in many cases promoters get 33% of the purse or the fight purse that a fighter has, but never steps in the ring, never takes a punch, never has to, you know, go through health checks after the fight, never hospitalized, and in worst cases, you know, doesn't get permanent damage or dies. We know about what has happened in the ring recently, as we know about 4 notable fighters that had died recently in the ring. You know, with like Maxim Dadashev and Patrick Day being among those fighters. And, you know, Michael Moore says that, you know, we wish that boxers there had like some type of union to kind of protect the fighters. He says that he would like to go to President Trump to talk about it. That the sport of boxing needs to be regulated. And it's kind of similar to one sport that I do follow, and that's college football. And college football does, you know, have the thing with the, you know, NCAA running over it. But in reference to major college football, that isn't necessarily completely run by the NCAA as far as like who is the champion, the national champion. Because there's never been a major college football national champion that has a title that says NCAA on it. That's, you know, a quick tidbit in reference to major college football. But back to what Michael Moore said, I feel him completely because, yeah, a lot of these boxers do go broke, and they go broke quick because they don't necessarily know the full game as far as like financials are concerned. And when you said the thing about promoters getting 33% off the rip, that's one thing. And then the thing about the title belts is another thing when it comes to sanctioning fees. Because when you win a belt, you got to pay those fees to keep the belt. And, you know, with a certain percentage off of that, depending on the total purse that you get going into that fight, if you pay off those fees, you're not going to get that much money at all. One of the things that I point to when it comes to that is the fight that happened between Carlos Baldomir and Zab Judah. Zab Judah was about to have his fight with Floyd Mayweather Jr., which would have been for, I think, the undisputed welterweight championships. But before that, he had a fight against Carlos Baldomir, and with that performance that Zab Judah had, he ended up losing to Carlos Baldomir. And because of that, Baldomir was basically the champ, but with the purse that he had, he could not pay the sanctioning fees to keep all of the belts. So most of them got vacated right after that particular fight because Carlos Baldomir couldn't afford to pay those fees and still take home some money after defeating Zab Judah. So you do have those instances where these fighters who end up winning a world title fight, but don't basically keep that world title because they have to pay off the sanctioning fees in order to keep the belt. And like Michael Moore said, it's not like it's gold or anything like that. It's brass. So it could be creative or anything like that. You could have the anything from the WBC interim championship to the WBA gold championship to the the super championship, the Ring Magazine championship, what else? The WBC, regular championship or whatever it is. These sanctioning bodies create these belts just for someone to have that title of champion. But with that being said, they get the fees for a fighter holding that particular belt. And in some cases, these fighters don't have enough money from the purse that they get in order to pay off those sanctioning fees and then take home the money that they need to take home in order to, feed their family and, have a living. So what Michael Moore says here is, on point, and it kind of shows part of the realities in professional boxing. That's what I got in reference to this particular topic. You can subscribe to The Boxing Source here on YouTube or catch The Boxing Source radio show live Sunday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Blog Talk Radio, or catch the podcast on iTunes, Google Podcasts, Anchor.fm, Spotify, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. On that note, folks, I'm out. Peace.